subscribe.
What's up, guys? Coming to you live today from the Bronx Zoo in New York City. And this is a really special place for me. This is the first zoo that I ever came to that really changed my thinking around, turtles and animals in general. I was always obsessed with turtles, but coming here around age 8 or 9, which is the age of my daughter Madalena, who's here with me today, was a very meaningful visit because it opened my eyes that there was more out there in the world than just the turtles that I was seeing in my backyard. So we're here today, really excited about that. Got my new jusTURTLES gear on, including my hat. Make baby turtles legal again. And yeah, I'm gonna check out some animals with my family. Part of the reason we're here, we had a loss in the family. Our dog died unexpectedly the other day. So the girls were feeling a little bit of cabin fever at home and wanted to get out and do something fun. So we're gonna come here and see these animals, enjoy some family time together. Of course, taking you with me, showing you a bit of the zoo here. We're not going behind the scenes, but there'll be plenty to see. The Bronx Zoo is one of the premier zoos in the world. And also for turtles, because if you look at the amount of turtle and tortoise species that every zoo in America has, the Bronx Zoo is in the top 4. So this is a really great zoo to be at, to see turtles on display. You don't necessarily need to get behind the scenes to see amazing turtles here. So we're going to show you all of that. I'm happy you're here. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, do all the things. Appreciate y'all. So as I come out of that dark exhibit, my favorite thing was probably the Timor python, which the species name is Timoriensis, which is very close to the Timor snake-necked turtle, Timorensis. It was cool to see that. So we're heading into Jungle World, which has one of the most iconic turtle exhibits in all of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. And I'm about to show you it right now. He's got pinsu. So we're sitting here hanging out in the first exhibit, and there's all sorts of cool stuff. Otters and marsupials, I don't even know what they are. And then there's a little turtle swimming around. Of course, I get all excited, right? Because it's a Chinese golden thread turtle, Burmese sinensis, which is a really cool species. There's a male right here, right now, that people are really not even noticing, but I'm excited to see him. What else is new? It's so amazing in a place like this, right in the heart of an urban environment like New York City, to have these lush tropical environments is really incredible to see. And it's here all the time in the winter and everything. So if you're in the Northeast and you're looking for an amazing zoo to visit, to give you a little taste of the rainforest, even in the middle of a concrete jungle and through pretty cold, harsh winters that we have here, this is a good place to stop by. So we've come all the way here to the Bronx, and in front of the habitat, one of my favorite species that I wrote a book about, Geomydas thingleri, the Vietnamese black-breasted leaf turtle. We're here looking at their habitat, but unfortunately, they're either not on display or we're not seeing them. They're hiding really, really well. That's the name of the game, unfortunately. But nice to see that they have a place here anyway. All right, so we're in Jungle World, and this is really, for turtle lovers, the most famous habitat in the entire exhibit, and perhaps even in the entire Bronx Zoo. So they've been keeping fly river turtles here since the 1950s. In fact, the one animal that's been at the Bronx Zoo for the longest out of everything at the zoo is a fly river turtle that's been here since the 1950s. What's more, in the 1970s, there was a fly river turtle that actually produced young here. Now, they didn't find the egg and they didn't find a nest or anything like that, but a hatchling just miraculously showed up in the enclosure. So when you have a huge habitat like this, that's the sort of thing that happens. The other thing that happens is you can cohabitate different species. You see these large gharial with all the turtle and fish species, which is really amazing. But the turtle that's coming up and that we can see today is the Mary River turtle, genus name Elusor. And those are a really rarely seen, especially in the US, species from Australia that is known, particularly in the males, for their absolutely ridiculously large tail. And they're a really cool species, and I've been able to see them in person before, but never in a habitat like this, and it just makes it a little bit more special when you see them somewhere like this. So we just finished up Jungle World, and we're hitting things all over the zoo. We want to see the entire zoo today because my family's with me. Normally, when it's just me, I just go and see all the turtle exhibits and that's it. So a zoo trip is a lot shorter, but because we didn't get behind the scenes and talk to anyone at the zoo first, we paid like $120 to come here today for the family. So we're gonna see as much as we can, get everyone their fill of all animal related stuff. But we just finished up Jungle World, which was amazing. Several different turtle species in there. And then now, yes, we'll stop at some other things along the way, but really I'm counting down the minutes till we can get to the Reptile House. That's the main thing that I always want to see when we get here. So those were a couple of large softshell turtles. Well, decent sized softshell turtles, male and a female. They're in an outdoor habitat, which was cool to see. There's a lot of cool animals here just kind of tucked away, and you kind of have to go and explore if you want to see any of them. So that's what we're doing right now. So right now I'm hanging out outside this outdoor habitat that is mostly meant for the alligators, the American alligators. And that's what people see when they come around the corner. The next thing they see after they see the alligators are some really large fish. There's a large red-tailed catfish and some other fish in here. But what I'm most excited about seeing are the turtles. And it looks like there's supposed to be some yellow-headed Amazon River turtles, Podocnemis unifilis, but I don't happen to see them. It might be because it's just a little bit shaded and cool. It's a cool day and we're in the shade at this point. But there is an animal that you can just see And it almost looks like what little light is hitting this habitat is hitting the animal underwater, and it's an alligator snapping turtle. So you know the species well. If you have any interest in turtles and you're from the US, you know what an alligator snapping turtle is. But this is a really special turtle to see, species to see here at the Bronx Zoo, because that's a species that changed my life when I was about 8 years old and came here and saw it for the first time. So cool to see this animal here just kind of lurking, and also interesting to see how many guests are walking past this habitat and not seeing that amazing, magnificent, incredible creature that's just sitting there right in front of them. My family's had a tough go of it the last couple of days, so we're here. It's family day, and not only is it family day for us, but it's also family day for this cute little monkey doing her thing here in this aquatic habitat. So cool. It's amazing to see the way they do this here with these great, lavish, lush habitats. Awesome. So I'm standing in front of the habitat of the redfoot tortoise. Not all the turtle species that you see here at the zoo are the rarest species in the world, but this is the redfoot tortoise, a really common staple in the pet trade. And this animal was probably a rescue. They're of the genus Chelonoidus, which also includes the Galapagos tortoise and the Chaco tortoise, South American species. And it's a turtle that does really, really well. The problem is that for people that want to keep them in this part of the world, and I'm sure the zoo has no issue with this, with the amount of animals that they keep happy and healthy, is that they very much need a lot of humidity. And it's not something that's easy to do here, especially in the winter months. So this tortoise has no idea how lucky it is because of the droves and droves of representatives from its species that weren't as lucky and didn't have as great of a place to live. Of course, because no zoo trip would be complete without our friends, the Sulcata tortoise, the third largest tortoise species in the world, Central Kelly sulcata, and they live right across the wide band of Africa. So kind of the like where the Sudan is, right across from West Africa all the way across to East Africa. And they are critically endangered in the wild mostly because of habitat destruction and the bushmeat trade, but they're super duper common in captivity. And that's why you see these at zoos a lot, because these animals often need homes. So again, here are a couple of animals that don't really know how lucky they are to be living at the Bronx Zoo, where, you know, AZA parameters will make it so that they're kept really, really well, a lot more than vast majority, 99.9% of those in captivity. Awesome to see. So these are Greek tortoises, if I'm not mistaken, and I was kind of surprised to see them. So Greek tortoises have a lot of different subspecies, more that are being described even now that are new to science, and they're not a species that you see at zoos very often. Testuta greca. These guys are here just living their best life. They have a cool spot here within the children's zoo area, and there's a lot of turtles and tortoises here because kids love turtles and tortoises. So please go ahead. People are waiting and like making sure they're not in my way. So anyway, they're here relaxing right now. I'm not sure of the exact subspecies of these, if these are golden Greeks, but I will send this to my friend Chris Leone, who does a really, really good job. There's many people that are within the US even just alone that are experts on Greek tortoises like these, but they don't have a sign that says exactly what taxon these tortoises actually belong to. So I'm going to check with Chris to make sure, but these Greek tortoises are still being imported to the US right now. If you're at a reptile show and you see some really pretty Greek tortoises and it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So again, proceed with caution if you're looking to work with this species, but it's cool to see them here at the Bronx Zoo. This is not a species I've ever seen here before. So that was cool. We just checked out the children's zoo. I'd never been in there before, but I saw about 7 turtle species that were potentially living there in the children's zoo listed, but actually was able to see 5 different species with my own eyes. We had the softshell turtle, the alligator snapper, the sulcata, the Greeks, and the redfoot. So that was pretty cool just to get in there and see some turtles at a big zoo like this, which has so many different animal species. Madagascar, the only place that requires an exclamation point. Here we go. I'm whispering out of respect for the animals, but I will just say Madagascar is the only place that has lemurs. And that's often to my chagrin because as a turtle lover, I'll watch nature shows about Madagascar and I want to see the amazing turtles and tortoises that they have there. And you never see them because it's always about the lemurs. But you understand why, because the lemurs are awesome. Look at this thing. And we're in front of this mixed species habitat for radiated tortoises and lemurs together. So you have ring-tailed lemurs like King Julian from Madagascar, and they're here living together, which is one of the amazing things that you see at zoos that you won't see other places. This is huge, right? It's like the size of an apartment building. There's so many things that you could do in a space like this, but the way that they do it takes it to a whole other level. It's absolutely amazing. And you could see these all sorts of different species that are endemic to Madagascar living together harmoniously because they put a lot of thought into what they do. It's awesome to see. This is a habitat that has both neonate radiated tortoises, Astrocheles radiata. We saw the adults in the last habitat. Now they're also living with adult spider tortoises, Pyxis arachnoides, and those are species that is really near and dear to my heart. That's the first turtle species that I ever worked with that came directly from a zoo. So it was around 13 years ago that Zoo Knoxville sent us a group of hatchlings. Now we breed those animals pretty regularly. Every single year we hatch several of them. And I can't tell you what it means to be involved with a species like that that comes directly from the zoos. To see them here is really cool. It's not all the time that you get to see spider tortoises, even at zoos. They are really rare. I will also just call out that radiated tortoise in there, the really yellow one, is one of the prettiest young radiated tortoises that I've ever seen in my life. This is a really cool habitat to see. The spider tortoises look good. I remember seeing spider tortoises here many years ago that were kind of pyramided. Those animals are still important for the survival of the species, but I'm happy to see the ones that are here right now look really, really good. Not that I'm some, tortoise snob who's going to judge the Bronx Zoo, but they really do care about these important turtles and they're making a difference. So it's great to see. Now I'm in front of the place where this whole thing started for me. Gosh, many, many years ago, several decades ago, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, coming here as a kid and seeing the alligator snapping turtle in this very reptile building. There's an activity that my company did. This story of Ernest Hemingway being in a bar in Key West, Florida, and having a bet to see who out of these writers that were hanging out in this bar could write the most impactful story in the least amount of words possible. And he won by writing a 6-word story. So we did an activity where you had to write a 6-word story that basically explained how you got to where you are today and how you became who you are today. My story was alligator snapper at the Bronx Zoo. 6 words. That's my 6-word story that explains why I am who I am today and why I do what I do. And that alligator snapper was right here in this reptile building that's been here at the Bronx Zoo for more than 100 years, entertaining people and teaching them about animals that they might not know about otherwise. It's an honor to be here. This is reptile history, American history, and I'm getting ready to go in and see what they got for us here today. This is one of my favorite exhibits anywhere. And actually, I was recently at the Tennessee Aquarium, and they have something similar, a nursery set up with baby animals, but there it's all turtles, which is amazing. But this is something I can remember coming to in my younger years and seeing all the babies on display. It's really great for just instilling this excitement in the next generation of animal advocates, and particularly turtle advocates, because there's usually a lot of really cool turtle species. We see right here with the radiated tortoises. You know, we saw the mid-size and the adults, and now we see the neonates here on display. Really cool. It's the dwarf crocodile. We just saw the world record size one at Gatorland in Orlando. It's cool to see it here in New York City. Here's the Burmese python. Not an American species, but certainly a naturalized American species now at this point. They're here to stay in the US. And a lot of times we talk about these, you know, really sexy, really horrific stories that people tell about the damage that they're doing, but they are an invasive species. And I was out in December in the Everglades in southern Florida, and we were able to actually remove one of these from the wild. We were out with the US Geological Survey, and they were able to remove one of these from the wild. So interesting to see, sad story, but it's true. We need to be careful with the animals that we have in captivity, because this is the reality. Sometimes they do become actually invasive, and in a situation like this where they're really there to stay. So we're standing in front of the fly river turtle habitat, Coreticeles insculpta, which is a species from Australia and Papua New Guinea. And this species is actually the longest lived animal at Bronx Zoo. So they actually got a fly river or pig-nosed turtle in the 1950s and is still alive here today. So of all the myriad of different species that we have here at the Bronx Zoo, this is the one that's been around the longest. And they're just incredible. Actually, my wife, who's behind the camera, special guest camera person right now, actually said that this is her favorite turtle species, which kind of warmed my heart. I could hear her yelling it to our daughters when I was all the way across the hallway down there, taking my time because I need to just, you know, capture footage of everything. But you see why they're so popular, why this species is so awesome. This might actually be the one that's been here for that long. This looks like just about the oldest fly river turtle that I've ever seen before. So really cool, nice to see it here, but also this species bred here in captivity. It's the only time in North America this species has ever been bred, and it happened here by accident in the 1970s in that large habitat, that large multi-species habitat in Jungle World. So cool to be here. I feel like it's like reptile royalty. It's a really cool pancake tortoise habitat. Normally you see flat, like slate rocks stacked up, but with this they actually use like zoopoxy, like this zoo cement, to build kind of a more realistic looking, even though it's fake, rock formation here, kopje formation, which is what pancake tortoises need, those little slots in between the rocks to kind of wedge themselves in, inflate with air so that predators can't pull them out. This is a unique approach to that, which is really cool, being able to go around and see how different places do it. That's a really pretty enclosure. We're going to talk about amazing experiences at the zoo. So we were just walking around, and Andrew, one of the keepers here, recognized me. I mean, I'm almost 7 feet tall and have a bright yellow shirt on that says Turtles, but still, it makes you feel really special and appreciated. I don't know if he knows how much he just made my day, but he pulled us behind the scenes and showed us the back end of the turtle hatchling area. And he also told us about the turtles that are in this habitat right here, which include several different species, including the Rote Island snake-necked turtle. Now that's named after my good friend, Bill McCord, turtle herpetologist, turtle scientist, who has named 12 species that are still valid today. And there are 2 species that are actually named after him. The Rote Island snake-necked turtle is just one of them. There's a beautiful example of that here in the tank behind me. But what's so cool about these is that the Bronx Zoo has been so successful in breeding these that they're actually taking over 100 of them and sending them over to Singapore, and then they're going to be released back into Roti. This is a species that is extinct in the wild, at least functionally extinct in the wild. And the majority of the animals that are in captivity are not pure. They're hybridized with other snake-necked turtles. So the fact that, and integrades as well, subspecies to subspecies mixes. So the fact that they're actually able to do this with genetically pure animals is a huge win for the species. And they could quite possibly single-handedly be saving this species from the brink of extinction right now. And I'm sitting here looking at one of those animals as we speak. Like, that stuff is so cool. So it's really cool to see the Vietnamese pond turtle here on display, Madagascar vietnamensis, because that's not a species that you see very often, but you always remember your first. I have never in my life seen a red crown river turtle, Badager cachuga, and there's one on display right here. So in all my travels around seeing turtles all over the US and even outside the US, I've never seen one of these before in real life. So this isn't the best footage I'm getting right now, but the fact that I'm actually seeing this species right in front of me is absolutely incredible. I'm so excited to share it with you. Lately, we've been highlighting these species a lot on the YouTube channel, and there's a couple different South American Podocnemis species here at the same time. You have Podocnemis expansa, the savanna, the large one, the one that we pulled out of the water at Jay's place at Turtles and Tortoises Inc. And then also it's cohabitated here with the red-headed variety, Podocnemis erythrocephala, which is a species that's only bred by a couple people here in the US, including our friend Dave Jajeski. We saw some of these at our friend Raul's place, and now we're seeing them here in New York. So New York, not the best place for podocs. They need heat. A lot of them need a lot of space, especially expansa. But when you have a place like the Bronx Zoo, they can do it like no one else can. You see, the habitat's beautiful, and that's exactly what they need. So it's good to see them here, because that means people up here in the Northeast are able to see these species and understand what they are. So it's a great thing. So now we're out of here. We just checked out the reptile building. And right when you come out of the reptile building, take a left. Now there's a bridge that goes over this little stream that happens, this brook, and that happens to have a bunch of turtles in it, mostly red-eared slider turtles, which, hey Maddie, this way, honey. My daughter is going off on her own. That has them there for people to see, which is really cool. I tell you what, this has been an absolutely amazing experience to be able to see a species at this point that I've never seen before in person, in that Badager cachuga, to be able to go behind the scenes without planning and talk to, you know, a keeper here who recognized us walking around. That was absolutely incredible. I think about all the time that I put into this reptile journey over the decades to now be at that point after coming here as a kid, just wishing one day that I could do something with these animals that I care so much about. Like, that was an awesome full circle moment. It was absolutely incredible. And I was also able to talk to Andrew and ask him about Freddy, the fly river turtle. And he did verify that that fly river turtle we were looking at actually came here in 1958. Now there may be some older turtles here, some older animals here, like the Aldabra tortoises that are across the way. But Freddy has been here longer than any other animal. So the Bronx Zoo has been here since the 1800s, but Freddy is the longest resident. He's been here the longest out of any animal that's here now. This was an incredible trip. without even really getting any of the behind the scenes stuff on camera, because that takes a lot of red tape and releases and approvals and all that sort of thing. So today we just showed you what you can see if you come here to the Bronx Zoo yourself. So proud to bring it to you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, tell your friends. Don't forget to leave us a comment about what you think about the content, that sort of thing. And I just appreciate you. Thanks for being a part of this community and trying to make the world a better place for turtles.
Hit subscribe, join the crew. jusTURTLES, there's always something new.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top, cruising the streets. I got a real pretty little thing that's waiting for me. Oh, hey, I thought I heard someone back here. Wait a minute. If you're here, then that means you just watched that video all the way till the end, which is pretty amazing considering our videos tend to be a little bit long and I'm also long-winded. So thank you. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for making the world a better place for turtles and tortoises, because it really means a lot. Oh, that was weird. Anyway, since you watched this long, if you haven't already subscribed, you should consider doing so via this link here in the corner of the screen. Also, if you like this video, I know you'll love our other videos, which you can access here in the other corner of the screen. Like the drip that you saw during the video? I know you did. And yes, I know I'm old. You can access that via this QR code here. And lastly, my Amazon author page, because I am a turtle author. I've written several books about turtles. You can access via this QR code.